me. Brothers,
I am at the beginning here.
hold the line. Stay with
What a wonderful advertisement for our show here today. And welcome on in, my fellow world patriots. It is indeed Monday, January 5th. I got to get this right now, 2026. And it is crazy. The time for me, guys, I don't know about you out there, but it has been absolutely flying for me. But as mentioned, we do have episode 190 of Hold the Line, and my two wonderful co-hosts, Miss Lisa and Mr. Mac, are here present and checked in, and we're ready to rock and roll because, yeah, there's some serious movement going on out there. But let's say hello to the wonderful lady and gentlemen here. But Miss Lisa, what is going on? Hope you had a good weekend, and hope everything's good. And here we are on Monday, 190, rocking and rolling. And unfortunately, it's not too much news to talk about today, huh?
Yeah, I'm so busy kind of catching up and trying to catch my tail with everything that's going on, and having a little chuckle to myself as well. We'll talk about that. And Mike, I think I've got a couple of Q poos to go along with yours today.
Awesome.
Excellent.
That's about it. I
Right,
haven't got
yeah.
much to say until we get into this.
We're gonna get into it for sure, and there's all sorts of interesting stuff that we're gonna be discussing here. But Mr. Mac, how's it going, brother? How's everything treating you on the East Coast of the United States this week?
It's great here in 2026. Happy New Year, everyone. I think this is going to be a absolute banger of a year, as we'll discuss. But thanks for having us as usual. You know, Lisa and I. Thanks to everyone that tunes in, and thanks to the mods. But we've got some great news, as we know, to discuss. But there's also some connecting trails and some more info to dive into, along with some Q stuff. So let's do this.
Well, all right. Since we're on that, on that kind of line right here, let's look up. We got the White House posting out, and we're just getting started, right?
Oh,
and
thank you for the new intro, White House.
yeah, thank you very much. Make it so easier on us. And I don't know, if that's where you were going to go with the decode on this particular one here, but they're posting this stuff out. We're just getting started, and this is what I'm talking about right here. He basically said, and we'll let Mac talk about it when we get to it in a couple minutes, but talking about, what do you say? Unleash hell on my command, right? And so we may have gotten that, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But bringing this one back, this one ruffled a lot of feathers out there, guys. A lot of feathers. The Department of Labor, Patriots are in control, and we're never giving up our fight to put America first. All right. And then so you got a bunch of people out there that are like, Jeff Carlson, I used to find his writing, amusing, and he did good stories. Now he's like, oh, this Q slop, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, maybe you should just do a little research for yourself, buddy. But as me, Mac, and Lisa were talking before the show here, you have a timestamp on this one of 4:52. And so we know that in the afternoon, anything after 12, you're supposed to add 1200 for military time. So 1200 plus 4:52 is 16:52, right? Just for those in the back of the class. And let me get this up a little bigger and zoom this bad boy in here. Control. 4:52. Actually, so we didn't need to, right? Let me see. Did I need to on that one? 4:52, identical. So you didn't even need to actually drop the thing on that one. But this one right here, it almost looks exactly the same, guys. I mean, I think that eye is a little bit different, but I'll tell you what. It's pretty damn close. That eye is definitely different, and he's at a little bit of a different angle. But I'm going to give this caveat, and then I'm going to hand it off to Lisa and then Mac, and then we'll switch it up next time. But so here's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're at a point where 100%, there's no question in my mind that part is a foregone conclusion. Is President Trump connected to this operation, the Q team whatsoever? 100%, right? So then what people need to do is then you need to ask yourself, all right, well, is Trump really a good guy at the end of the day? Is he going to stab us in the back? And that's where, in my opinion, any people's questions should lie as far as going forward, right? And I truly believe that, if they were going to screw us over, they would have done this during his first administration. Why go there and then do this pause stuff and then come back now? And then we have all this stuff going on that's absolutely bananas that we're going to talk about even more. But no, he's going to wait for another couple of years and then he's going to turn his back on us. But Lisa, irregardless of whatever I said, any comments on these posts, this post, and hold the line. Thanks for the new intro, or this one. Anything you want to talk about?
I'm going to pass on this. I'm going to go the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you and Mike talk about this one. But certainly, the Patriots are in control. There's no doubt about that. That's all I'm going to say on that one. But I've just got something that I just dug up. But I'll let you talk about this one first.
Mr. Maxer, anything, proofs or what I mentioned about Trump turning his back on us, anything?
I just, for us, we've, with the connection of the intro video played and kind of just following, I felt like that was possibly our theme of last shows and past ones. QPost 3387, it shows Patriots in control. Now, I think it's appropriate because we've talked about how this was all a pre-planned kind of operation. We were told in advance. We do the math. We're right on schedule. We've talked about that before. That link, though, is a video that we've shown, or that's been played before, and it was a Trump speech. It's probably one of his best speeches, if not the best speech, and basically lays out the plan for MAGA, the Trump movement, and everything. And it also is associated with other Q posts. So you can use that link, I think, to look up other Q posts that are associated, and there could be additional information to kind of uncover with this. But I'm past the point of coincidences on this. I just look for huge nuggets, try to help people out in understanding this and enjoy the ride because as we're going to get into it, Trump gave the go command the day before he struck Venezuela to the anons that were paying attention. So this is pretty cool. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to play a little bit of that speech, but it's a long one. That's great. Lot of
yeah. I think too. I think you're right. I think this is probably going to go down as one of the best speeches of all time. What have we got? Friggin' foreign language subtitles here. Yeah, we play a couple minutes of it, or a minute or so.
I suggest just re-listening though the entire thing, and it just starts clicking a lot of things that have been going on. So go.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more too. And I think he basically gets all he needs. That it's a 5-minute video. I think about in the first 2 minutes he gets that whole thing out of the way. Lisa, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it was the day that Maduro was taken was 35 years to the day when that happened to Noriega. And we know QPOS 35, which kind of rolls into the speech, Mac, that you're talking about, where it says POTUS is 100% insulated and he'll be on Air Force One and all of that. But it's 35 years to the day. Now, what are the chances? I think they've taken out, literally gone into a country and or grabbed a leader of a country, I think 3 times. This is the 3rd time, And Noriega, remember, he was running Panama and he took over. There was a coup or something like that. The leader died. He took over and he hid out in the Vatican embassy for quite some time. And then he gave himself up in the end. But he was charged and it was to do with drugs as well, And he died in 2017. Really? Wasn't Trump in it? Yeah, he died in 2017, and he was still in prison. I think he was 83 years old. I know that, but he was in prison for a long time, and it was to do with drugs. And it's just like a mirror of the situation with Maduro.
Isn't that crazy? And you know what the funny thing is, Lisa? And I'm glad you said that too, because it kind of just put something in my head where I got one of my 4 to 6% ex-coworkers, back and forth. Oh, you're down with what Trump's doing, and he goes, I don't care. It's still illegal and it sets precedents for other countries. Imagine imagine a country did that to us. How would you feel? I said, don't worry about it. I said, Japan warned the world a long time ago that there's there's a gun behind every blade of grass in the United States, so it ain't gonna happen. And when you just said that for it just popped into my head. So I just texted him. I'm like, so you were good with them going in and killing Noriega? Be honest. And of course, I'm not going to get an answer, but it's crazy hypocrisy.
Well, the thing is, not a lot of people seem to be talking about the Venezuelans and what their experience is. I can't remember. I think it's 8,200% inflation. So, like a loaf of bread, you would have to basically carry a stack of notes about 2 inches thick to buy a loaf of bread. That's how bad it is. The press seems to be, it's interesting. They're trying to spin it one way, but it's like, look, those people were suffering. They were, without a doubt, were suffering, and in every way. And that the new leader, she came in and she said, oh, well, we don't want to be, the Americans are not going to make us slaves anymore. It's like, you're already slaves, Right. They're queuing up. They got nothing on the shelves and things like that. People finding it really difficult. And then they've got this so-called socialist government. And to be honest, I wish you'd come and do it in the UK right now.
Right.
Before they just kill our economy and everything else, because it feels like it's going the same way. Because anyway, that's another conversation. But anyway, honestly, I'm not the only one that's saying that. It's like we need help. We need help. I'm not joking.
Yeah, no, I can see it too. I mean, you can definitely see it. And the funny thing is too, and I sent this back to my 4 to 6 percenter, of a clip of Chuck Schumer, and I quote, "The president brags about his Venezuela policy. Give us a break. He hasn't brought an end to the Maduro regime." Oh, now you got what you wanted. And let me guess, you're probably complaining today, aren't you? I don't know if. I think I touched on it in one other show, so I don't want to rehash kind of old news, but let's just say I was wildly surprised when I saw what President Trump posted on True Social last week, or right after this, I think it was the next day, that of all people, Debbie Wasserman Schultz was agreeing with what President Trump did in Venezuela. I'm like, what?
And Marjorie Taylor Greene was getting together with AOC to condemn what President Trump has done in Venezuela.
God.
Yeah, absolutely. So in other words, kind of the true colors seem to be coming out. It's like you don't need to, even if you disagree, you don't need to kind of hook up with the opposition to get your point across. Or maybe you do to be able to get attention.
To get more votes.
I think now, if you look back now, I mean, she's leaving soon, isn't she?
Yeah.
Like January. So this is kind of her last hurrah, as they would say in the UK,
Well, or maybe it's hurting AOC, right? Connecting with MTG is not going to be a good thing for AOC. So I was just thinking like, oh wait, maybe Mac meant, it's good to bolster AOC's numbers. And I'm like, wait, that's going to have the opposite effect on that. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's hypocrisy at its best that these people complain, and like we said, if you don't like a politician's opinion on something, just wait, because it'll change always, and it always does. Absolutely always does.
Do you want to play Trump's last comments about Marjorie?
if you want to drop them, go ahead and drop them. I'm going to play a minute so we can get this bad boy off the screen. Yeah, I kind of fluffed it so it wasn't black anymore. But yeah, dude, I agree. I don't know if this was just one speech that they mashed together, but whatever it is, this is absolutely awesome. So let me see. I got to make sure because I always mute. Okay, yep, always mute the sites there just so it doesn't start playing for you guys.
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another four-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment.
All right, I think that's good. So he basically got all of those points out of the way. Basically what we were told early on. Now, I want to bring this up, and I know we've seen this a million times, a bazillion times, but I just want to add something. I think maybe I touched on last week as well, and we don't need to play it. We can just have it playing in the background. But remember, I think I said maybe Thursday, maybe it was last Monday, I don't know. But what I did say was that here we have, obviously we know him as President Trump now, the 45th through 47th president, and the pause, right? But we have, prior to that, we have a billionaire, right? We have a billionaire who later became a TV star, and then he ran for president. And well, look at, by the time he ran for president, he's already got these military individuals behind him. Well, who are these? Just some random military people? Well, no, Anons were so deliberate and on the scene when this happened that they started looking and said, all right, well, this blue band, what does that one mean? And what does this band mean? And I'll probably get them backwards, but essentially, one of them is JAG officers, and the other ones are military intelligence. And you heard what the end of that speech said here. What did he say right here?
Today's ceremony, however, has very special meaning. Because today, we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
Right, and so I haven't posted it yet. I already clipped that video, and I've already written up a couple of paragraphs on the situation. But I will summarize that for you. Everything I already just talked about how quick you got to turn around, and then, boy, by the time he's at inauguration, he's already being flanked by military people, right? Remember, he's not running the show here, guys. He was invited into this, right? So he's essentially, the center man, the guy with the microphone. He's running the PR aspect of this, what's going on here. Now, I said, have you seen his inauguration? He told the whole world that he was going to take power away from Washington, D.C. and give it back to us, the people. Now, ask yourself, if you were in the government, I don't know, say president or head of the FBI, CIA, DNI, and you caught wind on what may be happening, what would you do to a guy who is telling everybody that's exactly what he's going to do, is take your power away and give it back to the people? Well, they do everything they've done to Trump and more. They would allege he's working with another country, try to impeach him, put him in jail, release viruses, steal elections, censor political opponents, on and on and on. So, is this all just a ruse, right? Just to put us on the hook for 6 or 7 years? Or is this something that's from the beginning been ongoing? I know a lot of people have differing opinions on this, but I just think it's too much of a snap and too quick for me that all of a sudden at this inauguration, he's already got full military support flanking him. So I know that was long-winded and sorry about that. But Mac, if you got any comments on that or what we posted before that, go right ahead, and then we will get Miss Lisa's comment as well. Look at it, stiff.
Just the fact that this could be a whole nother episode in itself. The only other question right now, I guess I have, is Maduro the first arrest? I would say probably. And we can
would shock the world, right?
Yeah, so I'll let Lisa go, and we'll just take it where it goes. There's a bunch of stuff we got to cover. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, it certainly shocked the world. So they fan. We saw the build up to this. The military moving into the territory over there. Like a.
And it was just unsealed, by the way, right there.
Sorry.
Oh,
say that again, Mac.
I'll get it. The indictment was unsealed, and I'll get that for you.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. And because I think Pam Blondie had said that. But go ahead, Lisa. Sorry.
No, just the reactions are interesting, but I think the implications are even more interesting. So with Maduro, he was giving cheap oil to Russia, to China, and Iran. Was it Iran? Russia and China, at least. Yeah, but so now and then also, I think the military kind of took over the seas there because they were seizing tankers, right? So what Trump's saying is, I'm in control now, and why are you, aside from attacking the American people by being like a transfer station for drugs? So if it's a transfer station for drugs, imagine, well, Colombia's not that far away, is it? You know? And all these other countries that are providing drugs are not that far away. But Venezuela seemed particularly good at transporting drugs into America, you know, through the Caribbean, over some border, all of that type of thing. And I just remember in 2020, there was a push with, I just remember a speech by Milley, and all of the carriers or the ships were brought back to the States to defend the States. So they were brought out of the Caribbean back to the States. But anyway, it's it feels like everybody's using what's happened for their own benefit in some way. You know, we had Keir Starmer say, "Oh, I didn't know anything about it. I need to talk to Trump." He hasn't talked to Trump yet, right? You've got Europe, basically, some of Europe are saying, "Oh, we shouldn't have done that, and it could happen to anybody, and he's going to do Canada, and he's going to do this, and he's going to do that," and it's like you don't know that yet. You don't know that yet, and there was actually a reason given why Maduro was taken, just like Noriega, right? So I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting because I think America has just showed its skill, or reminded people of its skill, as in, you know, it was just a really slick operation, and they waited months. They were ready to do this apparently in August, but they were waiting for the right time, and the right time was January the 3rd. So August to January the 3rd, what's that, about 6 months, maybe? August, September, October, November, December, January, 5 months. So I think this has put everybody on notice, don't you think? And then also
Absolutely.
maybe it's a bit of leverage again regarding Russia and the Ukraine, because of the oil, the cheap oil that they get, or the cheap gas, whatever it is, you know?
Absolutely. And I find it super weird too about, have you guys seen all these different pictures that are coming out? And, you know, the ones that I'm seeing, like 3 or 4 different ones, every time he's got like a peace symbol, he's holding thumbs up, he's smiling. Doesn't look like a guy who's like, I don't know, a prisoner. It's just, it seems very weird. And I don't know.
That shirt is called an Origin shirt. I think it's Origin USA. The owner actually posted like a 5-minute video about it. The rumor is that he didn't have like appropriate shirt. It was cold, so they gave him a sweatshirt. So everywhere he goes, he's getting a new shirt or jacket. So I think that's what they said. Also about the Maduro thing, what intel did they take? What computers and servers and stuff? And we know that the election of 2020 is looming in the background. So I am connecting the dots furiously right now. It's great.
Well, wasn't like Dominion involved in the elections Maduro's elections, 2 of them.
Oh,
You
yeah.
bring up a good point, Lisa. It's a bunch of them, actually. I think we'll get into this. And they also are mentioned in the WikiLeaks, of all things, with Julia Assange. So that's
wow.
coming back around.
And guys, just totally coincidentally, pretty much since Maduro's been taken, pretty much 90-something% of what President Trump is posting out is about the 2020 election. So I don't know if you find that coincidental or not, but yeah. So he posted this out, a video of the guy basically talking about the how certain votes, totals being awarded to Biden and Jorgensen's totals being awarded to Trump. I don't know if that was really possible, but it's basically talking about the elections being stolen. Like, they're all over the place. Halt to immigration, fix the system because people are coming in. Venezuelans lived through 26 years of corrupt Maduro's dictatorship, finally free thanks to Trump. And here's the other thing, guys, and I have to give this caveat, which is, again, I can't tell you what's going on in my next door neighbor's house, so therefore I can't tell you what a majority of Venezuelans are thinking. Because if you look up half of what X is saying, it's like, oh, great, they're so happy that they're being liberated. And the other half is saying, no, they're in a lockdown, they're in a police state, and and I'm like, and literally, like, this type of video here is what you're seeing. You had like 3 police trucks on the side and then people walking down the street and they're like, the country's in lockdown. And I'm like, that don't really look like lockdown to me, but I don't know. So again, I can't tell you what a majority of it looks like. It does look like a majority of people are coming out saying that it's, a great thing that Maduro's gone. And oh, by the way, didn't he steal his own election? I'm pretty sure, right? Because
Twice.
And President Trump posted a video of a guy testifying about it and basically explains how there's a program, I think, inside the machines that you can access. It has there is no trace of you actually logging in or anything, and you can flip the data. And I'll find that if you want to watch it, but it's crazy.
Without a doubt, and that type of thing has come up, like, since the election in 2020 in the US. That information, and that's why I think it was Dominion was saying that the machines weren't linked to the internet. Remember that? They said there's no way that those machines are linked to the internet. And it's like, they work by Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and they work on Wi-Fi. So that's how you can change them. And then as far as how Wi-Fi works, we remember from the Arizona people, some technical person testifying, saying that, if there's any electrical wires, you can use those. Yeah. Any electrical wires.
Really?
Yep. And put that video that Trump posted, chat.
Oh, okay.
And then there's some information that goes a little bit more in depth. I have a couple screenshots for you about Smartmatic Dominion and etc.
This one here, okay.
No, that's Marjorie Taylor Greene. Go ahead.
Let's take a listen.
So she dropped out. And then they talk about how brave she is. No, brave would be to stay. And, it's one of those things. But she dropped out. I can't believe it that people can change so much. But you can't go from being a strong conservative to a stone-cold liberal unless you are lying. You can't do that. I mean, you can stop liking somebody, or you can say, I don't know, she's fake. Look, front row Joe. What are you doing in the second row? What happened? Well, you're in the front row. That's good. It's front row Joe. I don't know who's been there, the front row Joes or you. It's pretty close, I think. Very different. Hey, very different types. Would you stand up, please?
So he's saying she's not strong for basically dropping out, which, right, if you try to make some change, why would you give the possibility for the other side to win? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Anything else on the bottom that we need to cover right now? Is this it? This is the...
That's the unsealed indictment, the link to it.
I'm not a robot, then. I think I'm not a robot. Bleep blop, I'm a Russian bot. Here we go on top. If you guys can see, justice.gov media. United States of America versus Nicolas Maduro. I think that's one of these is his wife. That's his wife, Celia Adela Flores de Maduro. I wonder if we have a date on this thing. It was signed on the bottom. Let's see.
His next appearance is March 17th.
Huh.
Which connects to Q-Post.
Oh, goodness. And so this is I'm guessing this is the foreperson of the jury, and it must have been a grand jury, I'm guessing. Let's see. Rustin Ford Guerrero. Oh, and guys, is Maduro, what's his religion? What's his family religion? Is he Jewish?
I don't know. I didn't look into that.
So yeah, so my brother talks to me from time to time about that.
I know that he was the bus driver of Chavez, and Chavez couldn't find loyal people, and that's how Maduro climbed the ranks as his original bus driver. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And then Cuba, obviously, I think President Trump and Rubio have all hinted at this, if not others, that Cuba has infiltrated the Venezuelan government. And that was the true source of the corruption, is the communism of Cuba. So we got a lot of live targets right now. We'll hopefully get into what you guys think we're gonna experience here. But go ahead, Lisa.
Remember the woman that won the Nobel Peace Prize? She is Cuban.
Yeah, her name's Machado. Last name.
Yeah, she's Cuban.
So Trump said that she's not. He doesn't think she's strong enough, and they're going to have fair elections. Everyone's been saying that. There is actually a good clip. I'll find it here. Who's in control? Did you see that? Trump setting the record.
No, I didn't see that particular one. If you want to find it, grab it. And this is just I don't even know where I found this, to be honest with you. I don't even know who made it. I just grabbed it. Because actually, I sent it to that dude I was talking about. I sent this to my brother because he often will text me when it gets into like the Israel thing, like, "Oh, is Trump just capitulating to Israel or whatever?" And I'm like, he's like, "Well, he's doing what Israel wants over there." And I'm like, I'm looking around and I see Venezuela hires Rothschild as an advisor for the defaulted debt pile. Ms. Corina Machado, this woman here. Does Venezuela have a central bank? No. Not linked to the Rothschilds, 100% state-owned entity. Then we have what appears to be Maduro here with a little kippa. Is that a kippa? What do they call that little hat there? So I don't know. Kippa. What the hell's a kippa? I think it's something else. I don't even know. But yeah. So is his family Jewish, or were they just being nice and putting on the hats while they're here visiting this Shlomi?
I don't know, but you have the skull and crossbones at the top left. I don't know if that's of somebody's logo, but.
I don't know what that. I don't know who made this. So they put in little snake and whatever. So who knows? I mean, maybe they're getting the Jewish people out of there, or the people controlling Jewish people out of there. I don't know. But then they're saying the other one is just as bad. Lisa.
The interesting thing is, that game they call the stock market, went shooting up since Trump took Maduro. And now Maduro's going on trial. And if you remember, one of the things that he did was he took away American companies. And they went to court, and the court said, they have to give them back. But those companies big oil companies, yes? Big American oil companies in Venezuela were taken over. So they just lost that money. So are they going to get them back?
Nope.
Possibly, probably, and it's they're huge companies, huge. They'd set up operations there. They'd invested in Venezuela, and then they just took it over. What was that?
Yeah, and I think that's what the people were saying, that Trump said, "Oh, they stole a bunch of our oil and we want it back," and then people were saying, just like Lisa was mentioning, like, well, you're talking actually not our oil, but it was like these huge oil companies that basically had the deal down there and. Essentially, they were kicked out and taken over. So, yeah, absolutely, that is the case. And I do believe as well, I do also hear a lot all the time of Venezuela and Cuba and Iran and this, that, and the other too as well. So let's take a listen to this. Looks like about a 40-second answer from President Trump. Who's in charge of Venezuela? Here we go.
The next question is who's in charge of Venezuela right now? Have you spoken to the newly sworn in president there, Rodriguez? And what are your thoughts on the entire situation when you said the U.S. would run Venezuela?
We're dealing with the people. We're dealing with the people that just got sworn in. And don't ask me who's in charge, because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial.
What does that mean?
It means we're in charge.
Have you
It means we're in charge. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I do remember that originally that woman, the one who was the vice president, deputy, whatever, the one. No, not her. The other one who the court have said can take over from the Maduro. She was his like assistant. Not that one, Machado. She's not even in the running. There's somebody else who works with Maduro that is supposedly in charge. When I say in charge, like they're going to be like acting president or whatever. But I'm pretty sure as soon as that's the one, and I'm pretty sure that she said, or at least the Trump administration said, that she'd already said that she wanted to work. She's willing to work with the US, yes, and Trump made a statement to say that she's better than this Machado, which I believe I think she's Cuban. I really believe that she's Cuban.
Wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't doubt it for a second. Ousted Venezuelan president arraigned in court today. He threatens other nations. Of course he did.
Yeah, but the thing is, she said it sounds like she said one thing to the US, and then with the media she's saying the complete opposite. Yeah.
Oh, really?
And Matt, did you post something about that in our channel?
Oh God! And he's talking again about a takeover of Greenland and threatened against Colombia and Cuba. And I think it was the Colombian president who came out and basically pulled one of the deals that President Trump did with Maduro, basically saying like, I'm here, like, I don't what he said, I don't accept invasions or something like that.
Yeah, he threatened Trump today. I mean, essentially, like, bring it on. There's a clip of it. It's all in Spanish, but
I got it. Yeah.
Is that not the same guy that said that he wouldn't take back illegal migrants?
Probably.
1 minute, and then within an hour or so, he was saying completely the opposite. Is that not the same guy? Have I got that wrong?
It might
Do you
be.
remember?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
When they started deporting illegal migrants, and he was one of the ones. Was he one of the ones that said he wouldn't take them back?
I don't know.
I'll look it up. I think it was.
And also, just really quick, Mac, when asked, is there going to be an operation in Colombia? Trump says, sounds good to me. Colombia is a very sick too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States, and he's not going to be doing it very long. Let me tell you.
So my question, is there an indictment, a sealed indictment with him? Because Lisa had mentioned something about, we captured Maduro, and then was it Noriega? There's a particular doctrine called the Kerr-Frisbee doctrine, and that works with international law, so where the U.S. can actually arrest leaders of countries for breaking U.S. law. So this is setting a trend now that other leaders, I think, are in the crosshairs, and it sounds like Colombia would be the next probably country, but Trump's always making you look in one direction, and people are calling out Cuba and stuff, but Cuba's going to financially fall. I don't think there needs to be necessarily an invasion. The people will probably rebel, and because Cuba gets all their oil from Venezuela, so he kind of cut them off, and as you can see, that Venezuela was a source of something. I would say Colombia is a source of cocaine, amongst other things, probably more corruption, and that's what we'll probably run something. He's already in the Caribbean. Why not?
But that's why I said that, like Venezuela is more like a transfer spot for drugs. So Venezuela are the ones that transport the drug. They do a lot of transporting, and other countries transport their drugs through Venezuela. Yeah.
Interesting. Look at that. Let me see. So, just keep in mind, guys, this is not new, and I got a question actually about this one. So I'm gonna play this here. Remember, this is from Brian Krasenstein of all people, but originally posted on December 10th of 2025, and he's talking about the Colombian Presidente.
Colombia is producing a lot of drugs. They have cocaine factories. They make cocaine, as you know, so right into wise up. He'll be next. He'll be next. And I hope he's listening. He's going to be next.
Oh, dude, he is such a friggin' badass. But my question to you, Mac and Lisa, is what does he mean next? Because he didn't take out Maduro by that time. Who was first? He'll be next. Is he taking out anybody prior to December that we're not aware of? Wink, wink. Because most likely, probably, right? We're probably watching things after the fact. But like, what was he talking about? He'll be next. Because I don't remember what was going on around, a week or so before Christmas, because that's when this video was dated.
It might have been in the context of Venezuela, the whole thing, if I do remember. So he was talking about Venezuela, and then they brought up Colombia, and that he's like, he'll be next.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and by the way, Colombia, they initially refused to accept deportation flights from the United States carrying migrants, citing concerns over the treatment of deportees and demanding dignified conditions, but ultimately agreed to accept the flights after President Trump threatened retaliatory tariffs and visa restrictions. The standoff, which occurred in late January 2025, marks a significant diplomatic crisis between the two nations. It wasn't. The guy was resolute that he's definitely not taking back any migrants. And then you must remember this because it was funny. And then he was on the news. He gave a press release and did some things on camera with the media, and then changed his mind. Like almost immediately that Trump spoke. This is the same guy that's threatening the US.
So right here, this is a post going back from the same time you're talking about, January 26, 2025, and it's posted, the president of Colombia caved to Trump in less than an hour. Well, so he caved to President Trump in less than an hour a year ago, and then, what do we got? A year ago minus 21 days. Then we have this, and this is not an exact translation, but it says, "Come get me, coward." Colombian President Gustavo said to Donald Trump, "I'll take up arms once again." Petro is begging to be plucked out of the mess he created for his country. His vast natural reserves, no reason why their people live so poorly. And it's not exactly what it said. He basically said, like, I'm here, but I don't accept invasions. I'm not going to be, basically threatened by you. I don't remember him saying I'll take up arms in there, but I don't speak very good Españolito, so
I think we kind of talked about this briefly in the time we were talking before the show, but it seems like these guys, act all bad and cool in front of the cameras, but behind the scenes they're bowing down to Trump. So I think a lot of this rhetoric is possibly hinting, hey, I'm going to make a deal. And, like Chavez, I don't know if anybody was killed, but, they were taken out alive, which we haven't done in I don't know how long, without killing the person. And we brought him back for trial. All that information is now in discovery and on the dockets. And that will connect to further crimes. So this is just incredible. Tip of the iceberg. What happens with this guy is going to be very interesting, because I think like Lisa said, he's going to crumble. So
yeah, and just a quick, Lisa, let me just give you the quick real translation of what he said. Quote, "You don't threaten me. I'll wait here for you if you want. I do not accept invasions, missiles, and assassinations. I accept intelligence. Come here to talk intelligently, and we'll welcome you and talk one-on-one with real facts." Yeah, I don't think Trump's going to Colombia anytime soon, but Lisa, anything? We come here. Yeah, okay,
I remember, didn't Maduro kind of offer something to Trump?
Oh yeah, everything.
Didn't he make it? He made an offer, didn't he? He made an offer.
Yep.
So he was dancing, and you're not going to get me, and all of that. And in the middle of that, he was making an offer to Trump behind the scenes. Without a doubt, he made an offer, and I think, and I believe that the Trump administration turned him down.
Yeah, he basically. Let's see right here. Yeah, I got a little clip of this and President Trump talking about it.
Everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Dude, I love it. It's like comedy on the highest level. He is like the best. It's so friggin' funny. I love it. And every time, like
So
all the
many
other
memes.
pictures, right?
You know when the memes are just rocking and everything.
Well,
with
go
the
on,
Maduro
Mike.
thing.
Put it
It's
out.
so
Put it
great.
out. Put
Which
it out.
one?
Go on. I'm not going to say it, but you know which one with the black hair.
Okay,
Yes?
gotcha.
And
Yeah.
there's the picture, and then there's the short video meme. Go on, play it.
And this is drop it, Mac, and I'll play this for 40 seconds, give you a little bit of time. Because remember, again, President Trump here posted this out. Oh God, here we go.
¡Venga por mí! ¡Aquí lo espero en Miraflores! ¡No se tarde en llegar, cobarde! I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your
Thank you for these. And thank you for the copyright violation over there on YouTube. But yeah, he is just hilarious. And I mean, he keeps posting these things out like he doesn't care at this point, like what anybody thinks, right? Like, because that's the post of somebody who's like, F it. I'm absolutely loving that. Loving it. Okay.
And didn't Maduro do some kind of dance as well? Like you're not going to get me, or something like that. As kids in the playground, you go na 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 na. He was kind of doing that, and then the next thing, boom, he's over.
Absolutely. And but wait, guys, there's even more good news coming on top of it. So just when you thought, they're playing their little games and, oh, wait, they're putting patriots in control and we're just getting started and you're bringing up the Q nonsense. What has been one of the things that we've talked about numerous times during this Q movement going back years? Well, I'll play you the dang video here. Here we go. I think all of you guys will be very happy to hear this.
You know that Portland, we got it down to almost no crime? Do you know that? But we pulled it out. We had a Supreme Court decision. We can go back. We're allowed to go back in. But we'll go back in when the crime starts. Look, the crime will soon start because they now know that we're out. And at the appropriate time, we'll go back in. And we may, if we're allowed to, the most powerful thing we haven't used, the Insurrection Act.
You're considering.
We haven't used the Insurrection Act.
You're considering using the insurrection.
I've always considered it, but we haven't needed it anywhere. 48% of the presidents of this country have used it. Bush used it, I think, 22 times or something. You know that, right? I mean, Bush the Elder.
Wow.
You know that
22 times Bush the Elder used it. Insurrection Act, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting. Rapid response. And that is, what is this? That's a White House connected account here, guys.
Which
Official.
In the Insurrection Act, we kind of always paid attention to the civil unrest given the circumstances at the time. But now They can like arrest politicians, mayors, governors, and replace them for a temporary time, and till we vote somebody back in.
And they can lose
Military is the only way. Yeah.
And they can lose their citizenship as well.
Yeah.
And in fact, the whole of the top echelons of like government can be just taken out. Literally, it's all the executives. You know, they can just be taken out.
And I think that is the intention at the end. We'll see, though.
Well, interestingly enough, you know, like when we first started talking about the Minnesota situation, you know, with the fraud that's going on, and you know, we did mention on the show that this is not just Minnesota. You know, it's across the board, and it looks like it's a strategy that they use to, you know, misappropriate or appropriate federal funding because of the way that it's set up, you know. So if you couple that type of activity, you know, the misappropriation of funds and the fraud and allowing the fraud, and then also the Insurrection Act, I mean, we say you've got somebody banged to rights there, because it feels like that it's a whole strategy that they've been using for a very long time to get money. And as I said before, funnel it back to the politicians as well. And you know, Lisa, some of that goes back. Go ahead, Mike.
And this connects the explanation we were coming up with at different levels of crime. So you said they get their citizenship taken away. That's military tribunals. If they fall into a RICO, that's civil crime, I think, and federal crimes. So we're covering all the gambits, and I think that's the, you know, Insurrection Act being the wrangling up of all the bad actors. And we're right now wrangling up the remember bottom to top, as Q always said. So we're getting that bottom and then sifting to the top. Tim Walz just said he's not running for a second term, and there's other stuff we still have to cover. So here we go.
He's another one that's done 180 degree, because remember, what did he say? Oh, President Trump's doing like lawfare and it's unfair and all of that kind of thing, and he's picking on people and stuff, and it's like, now he's not running.
There's 2,000 federal agents going into Minnesota now.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for them to be sent into San Diego, California, and other places, because they've got it going on. And it's obvious, you know? It's obvious. Gavin Newsom.
Oh, and Trump's his truce about, you know, he talks about Minnesota. He says there's others that are worse. And he specifically calls out California, New York. And we have those Q posts that say, watch California, watch New York. So.
Oh, what the hell happened? Here we go. Back. I literally had the link. Where is the link? Right here. Ding.
There you go.
The hell? Yeah, no.
What was it?
It's the link. It's the list of him talking about essentially the different states being corrupt. He mentioned Pritzker, Hochul, right here. Here it is. Here we go. It says Minnesota's corrupt governor will possibly leave office before his term is up, but in any event will not be running again because he was caught red-handed along with Ilhan Omar and others of his Somali friends stealing tens of billions of taxpayer dollars. I feel certain the facts will come out, and they will reveal a seriously unscrupulous and rich group of, quote, slimeballs. Governor Walz has destroyed the state of Minnesota, but others, like Governor Gavin Newsom, J.B. Pritzker, and Kathy Hochul, have done, in my opinion, an even more dishonest and incompetent job. No one is above the law. And not only that, he's posting more about Ilhan Omar today, too. Go ahead, Lisa. I'll find that one.
And isn't that Hochul lady, isn't she going to try and take over Walz's seat? I believe that may be their plan.
Hochul, I think, is she was the governor of New York, I think. Yeah, governor of New York.
Yeah, but she wants to be. She wants to be like a senator or something like that.
Oh, really? Great.
Yeah. I may have that. I may have that wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I'm sure it was her that it was reported today. You know. Go
Interesting.
ahead.
Yeah, I'm only gonna. This is like 3 minutes, but we get the point and what we need to get out within like the first minute or so. And not my favorite. You know, this guy's so bad. Probably wants to date him, but if not, he wants to be Tucker.
How did the poorest member of Congress become one of the richest members of Congress in just a few short years when she wasn't even born here? Ilhan Omar is the key to unlocking everything with the Somali fraud. Ilhan Omar has said many times that she is here to represent the interests of Somalia, and that's exactly what she's done in Congress. But she's also represented her own interests. Ilhan Omar.
And just a quick side note, this is a President Trump repost.
Entered Congress in 2018 as the poorest members of Congress. She had a negative net worth, negative $65,000 due to student loan and credit card and card debt. You'll find that at $174,000 a year, if she saved every single penny, she'd be worth a couple $100,000 after she paid off her debt. But that's not the case. Ilhan Omar is insanely rich. She's worth $30 million. How did that happen? Two things: massive fraud and her shady ass husband and his shady finances, inflating and ballooning exponentially Ilhan Omar's worth. Ilhan Omar passed the Meals Act in 2022. This is an act that majorly deregulated the federal government's oversight of meals programs for children. This is the same act that was used by her friends in Minneapolis in order to defraud the federal government of nearly $500 million. Ilhan Omar even worked at the kitchen that was committing the fraud, feeding the fake children. Fake children, a real problem in Minneapolis, the daycares and the food centers.
All right, so basically what he's saying here is essentially we got Nancy Pelosi 2.0 going on here. Because remember, Nancy Pelosi's net worth is anywhere estimated between 120 million and like 200 million. And me and my son were waiting years ago for my wife at a doctor's appointment in the car, and we were just doing stupid math. And I'm like, how many years would she have to be the speaker? And remember, the speaker makes a little bit more than the maybe like 30 grand more than the regular congressmen and women. And so at the end of the day, it was like 100, and this is without any, without Nancy Pelosi paying any bills out or anything, just her salary. It would have took her 112 years to gain the amount of money that she's accrued. But of course, we know about the friggin', you know, the stocks and this, that, and the other. But yeah, one piece of fraud, guys. And remember, like President Trump said in the post pretty much before that one, which is that Hochul, Pritzker, and who was it? And Newscomb. So California, Michigan, and New York, three other really big states, have the same issue. And just remember as well, I don't know, you know, spatially wise, but you don't think of, you know, I know Minnesota's got a lot of space, but I don't know as many people versus New York and especially California and New York. But a lot more people equals, in my opinion, a lot more fraud going on over there. So, Mac, anything, then we'll go to Lisa after that one. But anything else you want to add to this one? Just
a really cool spot by like an Anon. I posted a video at the bottom. How yeah, you want to go through that? Go for it.
I got it. Hold on that thought 1 second, dude. He is so friggin' funny, dude.
Hola amigos, yo soy su nuevo presidente, el señor Donaldo J. Trump. Your ex-presidente, el señor Maduro, is no longer your presidente. He kept talking shit, you know, and fucking around, though, and he ultimately found out, though. Anyway, we're going to make Venezuela grande again. Mucho grande. El bigger, el better than ever before. We're going to drill, baby drill. We're going to have a big, beautiful fiesta, all the tacos you want. Mucho mariachi, sexy mamacitas, and delicious margaritas. And President Trump is going to be el DJ, okay? Muchas gracias, muchachos. Y let's make el Venezuela grande again. Arriba el Venezuela, amigos.
He's so freaking funny. That's so bad, Mac. And then you got this.
You have to put that picture up.
Donaldo Juan Trumpchez. Oh God, let's get the. You said you had something down the bottom too, right? Oh boy, Great spot here by Anon.
You're not going to believe this.
Started over here just in case.
Not going to believe this.
Albie.
This little restaurant.
Name sounds familiar.
Does this spot look familiar?
Oh, the Nick Shirley video, right?
Yep.
We're here on Nicollet Avenue in front of Quality Learning Center. There was a misspelling in the word learning. Was missing the N, and that has since been updated. As you can see, they got a new sign.
Now, Albie name, dude? Is that something too? ALBI?
You're thinking about the grocery store Aldi, probably.
No, I know that, but I could have sworn she had like a. I'll look it up while you're talking, but go ahead, buddy.
Very close to alibi. But I took, I had said this before, the investigations over, that's why we're figuring out all this stuff now. It's pretty cool. The actual connections of this is deeper. Now, I looked up who owned this building, and it was a Somalian, and obviously she's denying it all. But if you take it another step further, who the real estate agents, who the brokers that know about all this, they're probably in on the scheme. And then a lot of these are big companies too, real estate companies. So I kind of wonder where this is going. Additional information is needed maybe, or additional digging, but very, very interesting in how deep this fraud goes.
No kidding, right? And I think, I don't know, I believe this to be a fake, guys, and you can set me straight. I actually put a post out on this one. Let me see. I put a post out on this one the other day because it's kind of like the other thing. If they can find one issue like they did in that other video that they edited it and said, basically, hey, we're walking up to this place, and they show the sign on the wall with the phone number, and the next place they show the sign on the phone thing with the phone number, and the next place, instead of showing the sign on the wall, he just goes right to the phone. And so when people look at that, they go, oh, no, obviously it's fake, so it must all be fake, so they can do stuff like that. Now, Right Angles Networks put it out, and I actually went to Craigslist in Minneapolis to look this up, and this post is there, and it is essentially, I'm putting air quotes up here, real. However, I don't believe this to be a real post. I believe this to be something that people get caught up on. Do you guys really think, and I want your honest, I do actually want your opinion, Mac and Lisa, on this one, which is they're supposedly got people coming in, and they got the state inspectors coming in to ensure that they really have kids that were there. And they put in this post, due to this insane poor decision and clear and white supremacy, we had to close our doors immediately. We must prove they're a functioning daycare to get the funding back. You think that's real? I'm telling you the actual post is 100% real. So it's kind of like what I'm saying here. Not saying the post isn't real, but what I'm saying is the post is a fake to get the result of people putting out fake stuff. I guess. I don't know. But go ahead, Lisa. I mean, I would
possibly, but the thing that I look at is, I don't have a view on that because I haven't had a look at it. But, we know that when there's been so-called civil unrest and stuff like that, there have been adverts from the likes of George Soros organizations, like, we'll pay you to protest and all of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like actors required, or, just actors required, and put in how much they'll get paid per day for events, Like you'd think that, they wouldn't do that. It's too obvious. And it's like, but they do. I don't know about this, but I'm just saying, like for January the 6th, people were paid to go and act up at
Absolutely.
January the 6th. And there were also adverts for people to get paid before January the 6th. And there's other events as well where the same thing has happened. And you think, don't do that. That would be too obvious. But they do it. they do it. That's all I've got to say.
All right, before I hand it to you, Mac, I'm just going to give the caveat for what Lisa said, or my caveat anyway, which is I 100% agree with what you're saying, and I know there are absolutely posts that they do post out there for, what do they call them, actors, crisis actors or whatever. But I think the difference is, for me in this, that they added this part. Oh, this is all due to white supremacy. That would be like them saying, oh, we're hiring a bunch of actors and we're doing this to, for Black Lives Matter, or we're doing this for, to stop Trump, or basically putting out the reason why they're doing it. They just basically say like, hey, we need actors for this time or whatever, but not really saying like, oh, these white supremacists are doing this. And I could be wrong, so I'm not saying that you're right or wrong,
like
but Mac,
a really bad lawyer kind of. The language is not proper English, so definitely Somalian written.
We're a function daycare. We're a function daycare.
But maybe it has to do with being a civil, I don't know, some kind of law thing where they're showing that they're being segregated against. They're going to turn this into a civil kind of. That's their last hope. I mean, they're desperate.
Well, Ilhan Omar, one thing that she always talks about is Trump being a white supremacist and the Republicans being white supremacists. That's one of her lines. Yeah. Why she doesn't like America.
Well, it ain't going to hold up in a court of law, so this is going to be hilarious.
Yeah, it's crazy. And, you got a lot of people out there trying to say, and you have to remember, too, there's 100% fraud. There's no question about it that there is fraud, and they did get caught. Now, you got to remember as well, people did already get charged and arrested for some of this stuff. So I'm not going to say that, all the new stuff that's being found has already been adjudicated or is fake or whatever, because I don't believe that to be true. But I'm just going to say, in addition to what we're seeing here, we had other people that had already been charged in 2024, I believe, for this very reason. And if you guys are wondering, like, what is the United States doing about this? Like, what are we doing about Minnesota? Well, glad you asked. Here is what the Trump administration is doing to crush Minnesota's fraud epidemic. So basically, they've charged 98 defendants. 85 of them are Somali descent. 64 have already been convicted. DOJ has issued. Now, I'm asking you two about this as well, guys. How long ago was this whole thing cracked open by Nick Shirley or whatever? Or maybe this is kind of mixing what I said.
The original investigation wasn't Nick Shirley. The original Nick was the DOJ.
2022.
2021 or 22, yeah. Early 22, I think. So, yeah.
So that's why the numbers are so high. Okay, that was my question.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting on. I think a lot of people are getting the fan thing going with Nick Shirley and stuff. Just everyone, he did some journalism. Just watch it and see what else. He does good stuff. But
he did a summary. He did a bit like Benny Johnson just did. He did a summary of the information that we have all had. That's how I look at it, and it was a good summary. But like you say, it's been going on since 2022. And the wider picture now is actually being looked into. So, yes, it did some good. But it was a summary of what was already known if you've kept an eye on what was going on.
Absolutely. And
I mean, he's gone around with MS-13, I think, or he's gone around with gangs in the streets of Chicago. It just... A lot of that is really cool and stuff. But you just, due to the reality TV stuff we got going on, I just wonder how much of it's staged comparatively, how much is it completely real. So it just.
He did a good thing where the protests in LA, I think it was, regarding the deportations and stuff. He did a good thing. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying it's a summary of information that was already out there, given that it all started in 2022, Yeah,
like a recap. Yeah, absolutely.
And Minnesota is like one of those places where it's like, there's a whole structure of control of Minnesota. And hopefully we're going to get to the bottom of what that network actually looks like, from civilian to like politicians and beyond. But you know, you can take that structure that you see there and investigate it elsewhere. And this is, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing.
Oh, he did a great job. Journalism, actual journalism, went out and investigated it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And he does have very good qualities. He's a Christian. He's never drank. He's never had sex. That sounds like he lives a pretty straight, narrow life, and he just likes to do journalism. So,
yeah, that's what he said here. But you know what you got now, of course. He says, "Hey, I'm a virgin. I don't do drugs. You're not going to catch me out, DMing girls, this, that, and the other." So he says, like, basically, I'm the worst enemy of these people in this video here. But then you have, and I don't know what's real and what's fake or whatever, but of course, I'm seeing more Democrat nonsense on Twitter than I'm seeing of any of people I follow. But what's going around is something about his parents or whatever. Oh, wouldn't you guess Nick Shirley's parents are scammers? And I'm like, of course they're going to have to go after somebody because you can't go after him, apparently, right? So, when they can't attack the person, they try to attack whatever, and then they try to attack the family. So one way or the other, he should have known that this was coming, right? And I'm sure he did. But yeah, lots of security, I would say, for this guy because he's, top tier enemy of the other side right now. And they have already put out things saying that, he needs to be gone, I guess we could say, essentially.
Yeah, he did he did the job that the media was supposed to do, that they neglected, because they have been ignoring the story, and now they can't get away from it, which is a good thing,
Absolutely, I'm loving it. And did you guys see too? Well, I guess it was a while ago. The it's dangerous rhetoric, and you got one of these twin brother. I don't even know if they're twins, but the two mousy Krasenstein brothers. They're getting more and more kind of stupid with their posts, like saying, Trump's a dead man walking. America should, quote, put him to sleep now. It's the humanitarian thing to do. Like, why is the FBI not pulling that dude in and putting him in at least a friggin' 48-hour hold? I would definitely go do something to that dude, unless, it's all part of the shtick. Let's see. What else? I guess this could kind of be related to some of this stuff here. Let's kind of go and see this. So, so what do we have here? We have Trump cutting off $10 billion in funding to 5 blue states for childcare, social services over fraud. Trump administration's cutting off more than $10 billion. Social services for childcare funding meant for a handful of Democrat-led states over concerns that the benefits were fraudulently funneled to non-citizens. Health and Human Services said that they will freeze taxpayer funding from the Child Care Development Fund, the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Fund, and the Social Services Block Grant Program, right? And so at least $7.35 billion in TANF money will be prevented from going to California, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, and New York. So barring Colorado, those were the states we were talking about earlier, right? Minnesota, obviously, and Newscomb, and Pritzker, and Hochul, right there. And why are we not getting this information, or why are they not getting the money? Another $869 million from the Social Services Block Grant coffers is being kept from all 5 states as well. The funding pauses were to be announced via letters to each state sent Monday, citing concerns that benefits were fraudulently going to non-citizens. The HHS Office of Inspector General found more than 6 years ago that New York City improperly billed the federal government for more than $24.7 million in child care subsidies. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, remember of Nexium fame, blasted the Trump administration decision to pull back funds. Quote, to use the power of the government to harm the neediest Americans is immoral and indefensible, Gillibrand said in a statement. This has nothing to do with fraud and everything to do with political retribution that punishes poor children in need of assistance. I demand that President Trump unfreeze this funding and stop this brazen attack on our children. But didn't he say that?
To what Walsh said. It sounds similar to what Tim Walsh said originally. Because exactly. that's the tactic. They're using childcare, Medicaid,
They're hurting the poor. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, it's like what American citizens might want to think about is, you know what, that money should be going to you. You know, it shouldn't be defrauded and given to people that are not American citizens. That's not what this money is for, you know. And again, it's like put the people back in control. The people should be receiving that money. Same happens in the UK, you know. People that are not from here get better treatment than the people that were born here, the citizens of the country, or should I say subjects in the UK. We're not citizens, we're subjects. Sub meaning under, yeah?
Goodness.
So I found a video earlier in the week. This was covered by a news network back in 2013. It's about a 5-minute video, but play the beginning.
Right,
it's pretty crazy.
See what we got here.
Difficult.
Hold on.
What is going on?
Hold on. It's
We spent months records, surveillance.
I'm gonna read along for you as we go because it's super low here. It's not difficult to see a pattern of what's going on here. What is going on? Terrible how it's misused. 3 months digging through records, doing surveillance, talking to insiders. It's bigger than I think. Tens of thousands of taxpayers' dollars. And you have to make sure that, you know, everything is following the rules. Yasmin Ali is the owner of Deco Family Centers. This is her giving a tour to an undercover Channel 9 producer. Elite tells our producer customers are on assistance. They qualify for government having them pay for their childcare. They can get that help if they're working, training for a job, or hunting for a job. They get to doing a disservice to the people that truly do need child care assistance. They interviewed 4 Deco employees. They've also shared information with the government fraud investigators. They agreed to talk as long as they were disguised. According to our sources, Deco is actively recruiting people that are qualifying for assistance, offering them jobs at the center. So big time fraud, and it just highlights that too, Mac. Right? Kind of what Lisa was saying. Which is, you know, the money should be the taxpayers' money, right? But then we're giving it up to some people, and I'm all about helping people that are genuinely in need. But a majority of this stuff isn't helping, you know, the neediest people only, right? It's actually helping people become millionaires, like we just saw with
back
fraud.
To 2013. So, and this is just one particular avenue of the fraud in which they could do this in other ways.
Okay.
So, yeah, and like the lady said, I think it's bigger than the state realizes. Yeah, no kidding. Now we're getting the truth. It's crazy, and it's funding. It helps support terrorism. It's wild. It's just a wild scheme.
Lisa, you got anything on this? I'm just trying to look for a post that I had earlier talking about what President Trump posted out. He gave the percentages of what the immigrants, like what percentage breaks down for each country essentially, and how many of those people are on assistance.
I've got that.
It's crazy. Got it right in front of you? I'm almost at it.
Yeah, one second. Yeah, I do. 1 sec.
Well, good thing is and the funny thing I thought on that list is that they listed Israel and Palestine on the same line. I don't know if you noticed that. I'm like, what? That's pretty weird. But they were at the bottom of the bucket. They weren't, 56%, 42%, and some of these other countries that, you know, obviously Somalians are very high up on that list.
Did you get it?
No, let me grab it. Here we go. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, perfecto. All right, so here we have at the top of the list, Bhutan, 84% or 81.4%. You got Yemen, and then Somalia, 71.9%. So essentially, a little bit more than 7 out of every 10 Somalians is on friggin' public assistance. Marshall Islands, Dominican Republic, Afghanistan, 68%. Iraq, 60. Myanmar, 59.
Half the Mexicans, 54%.
Right there, 54%. Uzbekistan, Honduras, no. Americas, not specified, 52%. Uganda, only 38% from Uganda. I say only, but that's, it's still almost 1 out of every 3 or 4 or whatever. Ivory Coast, here we go. Other Russia, 33. Lebanon, 36. And then watch at the very end. Iran, 31.9. Look, Israel and Palestine on the same line. How does Bibi Netanyahu let this list get out there like that? We want a two-line solution on this one. But it's crazy. I mean, so think of it. The country that has the least amount of people that came to our country who are here on public assistance is 1 out of every 4. Is that like the best and the brightest, or I don't even want to say the opposite of that, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's bad. It's really, really bad. So yeah, that's a crazy amount. And I said it. I saw it last week where essentially somebody posted out like, hey, if we're finding all these hundreds of millions and billions of dollars in fraud, it seems like we're probably paying too much in taxes. Ding, ding, ding,
Exactly.
ding, 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 ding. Right?
And that's one of the impacts of all of this,
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple things that I don't have here, but I'm gonna pull up one of these things because this is, I think this is pretty cool too. And making America healthy again. And I had this argument with a relative last week, essentially telling them about jabs and their kid that essentially don't go get the jabs. Like, they give measles, mumps, rubella, essentially, and they tell you get that shot all in one. Measles, mumps, and rubella all in one shot, MMR. And I was telling them, like, get the one that you can get separately. And if the CDC says, a kid can get a shot from the ages of 2 to 6, well, then give it to them at 6 if you are, basically wanting to give them the jab. So how crazy is this one? Yeah, all right, this isn't too bad. So definitely worth reading because I think this is a great step. President Trump here said it was this yesterday. This was today at 5:30, so actually just 3 hours before the show. Today, the Trump administration is proud to announce the United States of America's updated childhood vaccination schedule. This schedule is rooted in the gold standard of science and widely agreed upon by scientists and experts all over the world. Effective today, America will no longer require 72, quote, jabs for our beautiful, healthy children. We are moving to a far more reasonable schedule where all children will only be recommended to receive vaccinations for 11 of the most serious and dangerous diseases. Parents can still choose to give their children all of the vaccinations if they wish, if you got to be a friggin' moron if you're doing that. And they will still be covered by insurance. However, this updated schedule finally aligns the United States with other developed nations around the world. Congratulations to HHS Secretary Bobby Kennedy, CDC Acting Director Jim O'Neill, FDA Commissioner Marty McCary, CMS Administrator Dr. Oz, Jay Bhattacharya, and all the medical experts and professionals who work very hard to make this happen. Many Americans, especially the Maha moms, have been praying for these common sense reforms for many years. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's another
right?
another kind of RICO ring smashed, because it's a racket. It's a racket. It's an absolute racket. Like vaccinating newborn babies for sexually transmitted diseases like HPV and things like that. I mean, come on.
It's bad. And the funny thing too, Lisa,
or are they trying to? Is it some kind of Freudian slip or whatever, where they're telling us what they're doing? Like abusing children that young, making them sexually active. It's like, oh, good God, it's brilliant that they've done that because it's been, wasn't it kind of mandated that kids have these all of those vaccinations?
Yeah.
72. Right.
Can't go to school. Yeah, you couldn't go to school.
Down to 11. Yeah, down to 11. That's a big achievement.
Yeah,
Big
it's
achievement.
huge.
It's been going on for so long, and also people will be healthier. You know,
Oh, hell
I don't
yeah.
remember having the what do they call it? The MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella, all at once. No. We have them separately, and it's kind of not good. It's like that's a lot of substance in your body all at once. You know, measles is like a reaction. It's part of the development of the immune system.
It's crazy. And you know, when you have conversations with some of these people, I was talking to it was my wife's sister's boyfriend, husband, whatever, and discussing about their kid. And so we talked about some of these things, measles, mumps, rubella, whatever, right? And I said, yeah, you know, kids don't really need a lot of these things until, later, and I would do them later. And he said to me, he goes, measles? Why wouldn't I get him a measles? They just had an outbreak of measles. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, there's an outbreak going on right now, right? So I went and looked it up, and it ended up to be like equaling like 0.00016 or something like that of the area. And I'm like, oh my God, holy shit, 0.0016 of the population came down with measles? I'm like, it's just ridiculous. So, you're always going to have the contrarians that kind of, argue with you back and forth and whatever. But I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to help you because, that's my nephew, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, CDC says between 2 and 6. All I'm telling you to do is if you must get them, wait till he's 6. You know what I mean? I'm still getting pushback on that stuff. But that's huge. That difference is huge. And what is it right now for autism? It's like I think it's like less than 50 now, right? You think you let it keep going?
It should be very eye-opening to other parents, who doubted this. It's official, now they can actually stop poo-pooing it as a conspiracy theory and look into it and then care about it. So it's another conspiracy proven true. This is great. I mean, we're finally getting to the truth, and we're gonna have a lot more healthy babies being born, and I'm happy about that.
And a lot healthier in later life as well.
Yeah, they won't be dying as soon.
Your Medicaid won't be costing as much.
Oh my God.
The racket, the RICO.
It's
big pharma RICO,
Oh yeah. Fauci in there, everybody else.
Yeah, World Health Organization too. They can get it wrong on climate change, they can get it wrong on other things.
But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty psyched about, the things that we said. And, what do we start off with this one? I mean, when you start to see things like this, it really comes down to what I was saying in the beginning of the show, which is, do you trust President Trump or not? Right? Because if you believe that he has your best intentions in heart, then I believe we are good to go. Right? I think the only people that are out there kind of poo-pooing this stuff are the people that don't trust President Trump, and they're just thinking, oh, he's just he's backing the Israel thing and whatever they do. And kind of like I told my brother, he's like, oh, he's going in there and he's bombing Iran. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what else he's doing? He's taking out their excuse for Israel to want to go to war with them. So sorry, not doing that.
Now look at Iran as of today, hundreds of thousands of people protesting in the streets. Trump's threatened them to leave them alone. And that whole regime is going bye-bye.
And, I shouldn't expect, less from an account that's named Truth Troll Official, and they trademarked it, apparently. Jews in control. That's the stuff that we're getting left and right. And so these are the people that are basically, all these idiots. They're just saying, oh, Trump's doing whatever he wants for the military, for Israel or whatever. But it's going to come down to that point, guys. I mean, when are midterms, right? Because there's the put up or shut up point. And I think by the time we get to the midterms, we'll kind of know where we sit. But is there no serious shakeups before then I would say maybe we have a problem, right? But that is it. There is no kicking the can down the road past midterms, in my opinion. And I truly believe we're going to see a lot more stuff like this, because it seems to me, I don't know about you guys, but does it seem to you like he's kind of ramping up his exposure on this stuff, and like at this point he just doesn't really care? Because that's how I look at it. Like at this point, he doesn't care who thinks what.
Yeah, I mean, it's in place. Everything's rocking and rolling. I mean, the big beautiful bill's about to take off, and that is going to. I think everything is in control right now. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I did find a video, short one. It's a Orthodox Jew maybe talking about the difference between Judaism and Zionism, and how that they're against Zionism and what it actually is to them. So if you want to play it, but I think there's way deeper things going on in these people with Jews in control and so forth.
Well, and something I listened to last week too. I said it with Tron the other day on the show, which was we were listening to I think it was Promethean Action, that woman Barbara Boyd, or the other one there, and what they were saying was essentially that people are screaming there's no arrests here in the United States, and she's like saying, well, yeah, eventually they should get arrested too, but it's a lot bigger than just some politicians. And what happens if you arrest Rod Rosenstein, right? We get Rod Rosenstein arrested, James Comey's arrested, Barack Obama's arrested, but the rest of the world stays the same. Does anything really change? Or do they just install more like-minded people in our government going forward, right? He needs to crack this whole big system that we're dealing with. And so I've not seen this video. Let's take a listen here. Bing, bing.
My name is Rabbi Cohen, and I'm making this video because it is vital that you should know what I'm about to tell you. Zionists want you to think that Zionism was the Jewish people returning to their ancient homeland. But in reality, Zionism was not the Jewish people doing anything. It was the Zionists doing it. Judaism is a religion, but Zionism is a political movement started by atheists, anti-religious Jews, who thought that if they could change the Jews from a religion into a nationality, the anti-Semites will not hate Jews anymore. From the beginning of Zionism, Jews loyal to the Torah have fought against the Zionists to save the soul of Judaism, the religion, from the nationalist poison that the Zionists wanted to change it into. Zionists want you to think that they represent the Jewish people. Nothing could be further from the truth.
Well, dude, I would just say that it seems to me like would people consider Bibi Netanyahu a Zionist? I would say probably yes, right? And then what did we know about what happened before October 7th? They were saying essentially that they were going to have riots and rallies in the streets over Bibi Netanyahu because he was so damn corrupt. So I don't doubt that there is a difference between, Zionist and Israeli people or Jewish people or whatever. But I wonder how does that work out? Like when you got the guy that's, prime minister of the place is a clear Zionist, right? Does that mean he's, what's the word he used? Anti-religious, or did he say satanic? What did he say? Jews who thought into a religion, Semites.
Atheists.
Atheists, right? They don't believe in God, right?
Mm.
So how does that work?
Joe Biden was a Zionist. He even told people he was several times. So it's not just Jewish people. Zionists are they think they're superior to everyone. So you can follow religion. It's not a religion. It's a political agenda. And so they hide behind these religious groups when they're actually Zionists. And they have a way different agenda than what the religion may be in. Yeah, it's just like the snake, the wolf in sheep's clothing kind of thing.
Yeah, but I wonder how that works out in their country, because it's like if you have is maybe that why they were rioting and rallying, is because you have these people who are anti-religious or against religion running the country while saying that they represent Israel. Maybe.
Well, Israel was set up by Zionists, so Ben Gurion, like the first was it prime minister, president, whatever he was, I posted a video. I'll send it to you, and it's only 20 minutes long, but it explains it all. But it gives evidence, how they kind of shaped things or it was like theatre, you know. It was like theatre. Everything was presented. Everything was a story. Everything was a script, you know, to make people think one thing when actually something else was going on, you know.
Uh-oh.
Really. And then also, you know, it's known that they hide behind, you know, I always say, you know, I feel sorry for you know, the real Jews, because they're the ones being used, because things are being done in their name, you know. But if you go to Israel, you'll find that there is this complete divide between the Zionists and the most of the Orthodox Jews. And I'm pretty sure I've said it before, just as Max said, you know, the Zionists, they come from like Eastern Europe. You know, they're not even Jewish.
Yep.
They're not even Jewish. They're the Khazarians, you know? And where's Khazaria?
Ukraine.
Somewhere around the Ukraine.
Ukraine.
You know, and wasn't Ukraine calling for, you know, Trump to go and take out Putin and all of that? You know?
Sure were.
And they're complaining about what happened with Maduro. It's like, well, he's not dead. You know, he's not dead.
Yet. We got a little update here, guys. Hopefully it's not too loud. Take a listen here. Heavy gunfire heard inside of Venezuela's capital of Caracas. It's not too bad for you guys.
¿Qué es eso? ¿Ese que es la luz?
Fireworks, probably.
I
mean, that could be fireworks. They had, yeah, this other one down here shows a dude with like a machine gun or something.
Is that today?
I don't know. I mean, this is being posted as now 37 minutes ago. And then, you know, with anything, I hate to do this even on a live show, especially on a live show, because they don't get the time to.
Watch out.
Yeah, we don't get the time to correct it and verify it. But there's a lot of people. Put it this way, there's a lot of people posting heavy gunfire in Venezuela's capital. If you go on Twitter right now, it's all over the place. So, you know, and, oh, well, look, Trump did that. That's because of Trump. Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Controlling the narrative.
Something's going down around.
Those would be the criminals fighting.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. And, you know, who was one of the other countries that President Trump was talking about earlier about revisiting again? What was he talking about? The Panama Canal, the Gulf of
Greenland.
America. Mac nails it. Justin, Greenland, not Justin, but just in Greenland, Prime Minister Nielsen says, we're open for business with the U.S. It's just that like, hey, we're cool. We're waving the waving the flag around like, hey, we're cool, bro. Like, call me first. Don't just show up. What do you think's gonna be next, though? I mean, he's basically said as much that he thinks Cuba, or people are saying essentially they think Cuba's gonna be next.
Yeah, I wouldn't. We already have Gitmo there, Guantanamo Bay, so it makes sense. I mean, maybe it'd just be a territory, let the people decide, kind of deal.
Yeah, that's kind of what Trump was talking about, like the people. But like, you know as well as I do that a person is smart, but people together are stupid. You know, they're dangerous animals. You know, things like that. Nick Sorter's actually got a different angle on one of these here now. Let me see. Should I play this or should I play this for? Hold on. So much, so little time. Yeah, I'll get to that one in a minute. Kind of talking about this one here still. Unconfirmed reports state that the Venezuelan government mistook their own drone for an enemy drone, which triggered a barrage of anti-aircraft fire. Once the friendly drone got a little too close to the presidential palace, forces reacted. So that's what they're saying he thinks it is? A drone. It's a drone. Yeah. And here we have. This is what I was going to take because it's a little different topic or subject here. Do we boycott Hilton's, guys? U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. I think it's 6 hours-ish ago, 2 o'clock-ish, 3. Oh, no, it's noon. So about 8 hours ago. Hey, Hilton Hotels, why did your team in Minneapolis cancel our federal law enforcement officer and agents' reservations? We have found information about immigration work connected with your name, and we'll be canceling your upcoming reservation. You should see proper cancellation email in your inbox shortly. Huh. So not only is your daughter a whore, but you don't want to have immigration people staying there. So boycott ICE, guys. What do you think? I mean, that's pretty crazy. Very, very bad.
Par for the course.
Yeah, I know, right? And what do you guys think?
Probably because they got illegals in there. You know, they don't. I don't know. Just odd. It seems like they're corrupt, but you know, very interesting.
When's the last time you guys had heard about remember the guy that came over from Venezuela? He was like military intelligence, and he was talking all about the essentially talking about the fraud that was going on over there. Have you guys heard anything about him recently? I'm only guessing that this is what this is all stemming from, though, from what he told us.
I don't know which individual you're speaking of.
Neither do I.
The guy that was supposedly, I think it's Carvajal. He was supposed to be the, what was he? I think he was the head of military intelligence, if I'm not mistaken. But he was like a whistleblower that came over a while ago, probably 2 years ago or so. I got a little clip on him here, talking about things he said. This is kind of going over some of the things that he said. I'm not going to put it, but a letter from Hugo Carvajal, imprisoned in the USA, former head of Chavez's intelligence and trusted Maduro militant, to Trump, where he confesses financing of El Tren de Aragua, conspiracy of the narco dictatorship to export drugs to the United States, electoral fraud, and more. And I think most likely, what the main concern here is electoral fraud, and maybe Tren de Aragua. But they're all bad. They're all very bad. We don't need the drugs coming over. We got enough bad shit here. Pardon my French, but we do. And then Tren de Aragua with the gangs and stuff. But yeah, electoral fraud, I think, is going to be the target on this one. What are you supposed to do here? I mean, with this guy's information, is he only giving you a bunch of information to try to save his hide? Because we know that's how the Democrats are going to kind of tailor that, right? We know that. So Mac, Lisa, is there anything, because we're getting close to the end of time here, but is there anything that you guys had discussed, talked about that we need to make sure we do get in there before the end of the show today? Anything at all?
What about that fire in Switzerland?
Well, what happened?
Because over 40 people dead.
The nightclub, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And well, it looks like the guy, the owner, the couple that own it, she might have been an ex-prostitute before she got married to him. And he sounds like Corsican mafia or something, because he's been done for all kinds of crimes in France prior to that, But 40 people died. It's a lot of people, and they're young people, like 16, 17, 18, very young, very young.
No, I don't know. Lisa probably hasn't heard about it because she's across the pond, as we say. But Mac, do you remember hearing about the Station nightclub fire in, I don't even know, 2003?
2003?
Was it?
Yeah,
stuff?
I do remember that.
I used to go to that place. It was a little kind of hole in the wall, but it was a local place to where I was living. And I had been there the weekend before. Thankfully, I didn't go that day, obviously. But, the problem is, if you look at the video here, as these people are like walking around or whatever, later on they see that this thing actually, it's, sound insulation, egg crates, but it was catching fire. And what were these idiots doing? They're sitting there filming it. And it's like, no, get your ass out of there.
But I think they might have thought it was part of the show.
Oh, God.
It seems that way. No, I know, but like they've all had a drink and everything, and these girls come out and they've all got champagne bottles with the sparklers on. I think some people actually at first thought that it might be part of the show.
I heard there was only one exit really to get out.
Yeah. And the other exits were actually locked. And they always are locked. apparently. You know, there's three exits, like the narrow stairs going upstairs and out the front door, and there's a smoking room, and that exit was locked, and maybe another one, but they have the exits were literally locked.
Do this. Everything was done according to the regulations, and if I'm remembering probably incorrectly, I want to say that there was some problem with one of the doors at the station nightclub fire too. I think like the back door was locked where people were trying to get into like one little little tunnel that led to like a door. But I think that was locked as well. So I think a lot of people died as a result of that. But yeah, not a good idea to be locking doors on the inside and out, especially when you're in a nightclub. Obviously you don't want people just walking in, but you can have that push button bar that lets people out from the inside. Can neither sleep nor eat. We are not well. The bar.
Yeah, and narcissists. 40 people dead, and they talk about themselves.
But Lisa,
and they own the gaff.
but Lisa, it had been inspected 3 whole times in 10 years. What? 3 times in 10 years? What is that? What? For what? Like for food inspection, alcohol inspection, structural. Like, what are you talking about? 3 times in 10 years? That's not a lot for a business at all. I mean, I don't know about Switzerland.
No. Switzerland are only just kind of reviewing their kind of fire, health and safety standards. You know, I'm sure they've got a what do you call it, where they ask people to make suggestions and stuff. That's going on right now, but they generally have one of the lowest in the world, like incidences of fire, even though there's a lot of wooden houses. You know, Switzerland, Sound of Music, and all of that. It's all lovely, you know. But it's that soundproofing. It's like I know it inside out, and I'm telling you, if that's on fire, it is sucking out all of the oxygen.
Yeah.
In that room, like immediately. But I don't know. I really just don't know. I don't know. But I'm sorry to hear about so many people, so many young people as well, have died from all over the place, or like almost all over the world, you know. But they're so young. Like, wow, just can't. It's just not good.
Yeah. You can figure 18 to 20 something year olds. Mac, I think you dropped this, unless it was Lisa.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you.
So here's another, another fraud scheme.
Mac, you want to talk about this for a second? I just gotta run like 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Man, I gotta pull it up. But basically, this is about a ex wrestler, and his whole family is involved in a fraud scheme. Which I'm trying to find the article so I can read more about it. But it happened in Mississippi. So they were helping the less fortunate. Cash was splurged over a lavish home in Jackson. Cars paying off nonprofit leaders' speeding ticket and funding a new $5 million volleyball stadium, Mississippi University, among other items, authorities say. So, Lisa, do you know anything about this? I came across this, and I'm trying to find the article, but
no, I'm just trying to find a similar situation that probably happened somewhere in 2020, 2021. And I think it was a baseball star or something like that. And there was this, instead of the money being used from the local government to go to disadvantaged children, it was spent on this stadium. And I'm sure that he got charged for it, you know. But we're seeing this pattern of kind of government working with individuals or organizations, and there's fraud, you know.
All over the place there's fraud, apparently, huh?
Yep, sounds like it. Sounds like it.
Yeah, and it's very similar to the feeding children scheme. So there was no, I guess, checks and balances. Crazy.
And
I couldn't find the article real quick. I finally found it. and then you came back. But
Sweet.
so, one thing I did want to mention earlier that I forgot to, the lawyer that's representing Maduro also represented Julian Assange.
Oh, that's right. You had that, right?
Yeah, I found that interesting.
Let me pull some of those things up because I see you had printed out a few things there.
That Marine's asking for a class action lawsuit against the government. Which
yes, let's take a listen.
The fraud in Minnesota
let's see. I'm not sure.
means nothing. And when I say it means nothing, it's because you have to look at that $19 billion that went missing and realize that this is not the only state that this is taking place in. And this is what's really going to scare you when you really break it down. You see, there was $19 billion that went missing. Nobody blinked an eye. If you take all the money that has possibly been taken from hardworking Americans, hardworking taxpayers, and you actually add it all up, I would guess that it's trillions of dollars in taxpayer money that has gone missing. And you see, the sad part is that our government is supposed to oversee our taxes. It's supposed to see what is going out and what is going in and what is being taken. Now imagine if you're only supposed to pay $2 in taxes, but you're paying $10, right? Oh, that's money. That's fraud, right? And so what's taking place in America is that there's thousands of dollars every year that is being taken from you that should not be taken. And the problem is that there's nobody overseeing it. The problem is that our government is failing us every single year. The problem is that the people that have been put in these positions that are supposed to be taking care of us are either paid off, corrupt, or just don't simply understand what their job is, and they're not there to serve the American people, and they should be held accountable for the fact that they're not doing their job. The problem is that if trillions of dollars that are taxpayer dollars can go missing and nobody blinks an eye, then guess what? Our government needs to be held accountable. But not only that, but they should pay us our money back to actually make things right. We, the people, should be filing a class action lawsuit against our government for being robbed, for being victimized because they failed to do their job. People need to be held accountable, and there actually needs to be something done and a matter of us getting checks back, because guess what? You're not doing our job. We are overtaxed, overregulated, over everything, and nobody is actually advocating for us. This is a huge problem. It's something that needs to be dealt with, and we as the American people need to come together and actually fight this and actually file something so we can get our money back. Because we have been robbed by our own government because they are not someone you can trust when it comes to our finances. Clearly.
Dude, that is so funny. I was just about to say the word clearly, Lisa. I swear.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, I think mostly if you're taking something like Medicaid, then the way that it's given to a state is through what they call like a block fund. So it's like they give a massive amount of money to the state, and then the state are the ones that distribute it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what that I think is what's going on. So some of these programs like childcare and health and stuff like that, I think maybe they were under Medicaid or something, you know, and autism. So they get this massive amount, and then, you know, you have Ilhan Omar passing certain acts, let's say. You've got the governor, Tim Walz, and him kind of relaxing the regulation and the standards and things like that to make it easier for people to access it, using the excuse of ethnicity or so-called disadvantage, and, you know, and rolling in with the illegal migrants, making sure that they get their piece.
Absolutely.
I think that's how it works. So it's maybe not always the federal government, it's more the local state government and everything around that. You know, the governor makes a lot of decisions, doesn't he? And then works with the legislator. And that's if they've got access to the governor, it's all.
Uh-oh. I hope she just muted
Over.
on the way out.
So okay. I think I said last week, like, look, you know, something has to be. Yeah, something has to be done about oversight, and it may have to come from the federal government. You know, it has to change if they want to make it better, and if they really do want to stamp it out.
Yeah,
something has to be done about the oversight into the state. You know what I mean?
And that's a class action lawsuit will put the pressure on the politicians to pass those laws. So it's one of our biggest weapons, and I think, you know, obviously, if you guys know me, Q Post talks about it as well, and maybe that's a good way to getting some proper action. And we've talked about how this new system that's probably running is got some accountability attached to it, so there can be auditing involved. But the Pentagon did unfortunately fail its most recent audit. I think it's the 8th straight year in a row. But
8 years running, they're killing it.
Yeah, so there has to be something done here, or there's going to continually be this stealing of money. It's, you know, some proportion.
Interesting. And I don't think we made I don't think I made the caveat or the argument earlier. Not really an argument, but maybe MaQaveli did. I don't know. But Trump cutting off the $10 billion in funding to the 5 blue states for childcare, social services, and fraud, blah, 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 blah. Well, wait. Didn't he say that a couple weeks ago, right? Like, if you guys don't give us the data for the people that you guys are giving aid to, like essentially saying, we want to see the accounting for where this stuff is. And if you don't get it, guess what's going to happen? Trump's going to cut off your funding, right? So that's it, baby. I'm loving that, dude.
Yeah.
You want to fraud us? Then guess what? Sorry, you ain't getting your money. And who will suffer as a result? The people that you will use as your little doll. Oh, look at this poor guy. He's not getting the money because Big Bad Trump's being a jerk. And it's like, no, you're defrauding the whole friggin' state. And as a result, you're not getting paid because you don't want to come up with the accounting because you know it's fraudulent.
Yeah.
Bad, really bad.
Or they're going to have a fire and say that all of the documentation was destroyed overnight. Somebody broke in and took it. Everything.
Happens.
Every piece of paper. Every hard drive. You know? That had any information whatsoever. It's all gone. Okay.
But you know why? It's because of Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley did that video, and as a result, Mac had brought this one up earlier because we were talking before the show, and so for the people out there that tell you like, oh, you can't go to another country and do this and stuff, Mac, it's been done before apparently, right? Like this is not like a new thing.
Correct.
To go into another country. What do you call it? I forgot the name you had of it earlier.
The Kerr Frisbee, Kerr KER Frisbee FRISBIE doctrine.
But yeah, it
I don't know if I
here.
attached anything. If you want to do a quick search, it'll tell you about it. But I thought I attached it. But go ahead.
Yeah, it says in '89, in the invasion of Panama, Noriega was captured and brought to the United States, including drug trafficking and racketeering, which were framed as direct threats to the United States' interest. He was subsequently tried, convicted, and sentenced 40 years. Saddam Hussein, former president of Iraq, who was captured by U.S. forces in 2003 following the U.S.-led invasion of Iraq, although he was ultimately tried and executed by an Iraqi court for crimes against humanity, his initial detention was carried out by U.S. military forces as part of a broader campaign against a regime accused of posing a threat to international peace and U.S. security. More recently, Maduro was captured by U.S. forces, transported to New York to face federal charges, including, ding, 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 narco-terrorism conspiracy and cocaine importation conspiracy, which the U.S. alleges directly harm American citizens and institutions. So his court appearance was scheduled for today, and we showed you the sketch of that. So I'm loving it.
And then go to the next screenshot. That's the doctrine.
Okay, so the U.S. justifies such actions under the Kerr-Frisbee doctrine, a legal principle established through Supreme Court rulings, Kerr versus Illinois, Frisbee-Collins, 1952, which holds that a defendant's illegal abduction from a foreign country does not violate their prosecution in U.S. courts. This doctrine was notably reaffirmed in the 1992 case versus Alvarez Machain, where the court allowed the prosecution of a Mexican national who had been forcibly brought to the United States. However, these actions are often conflicting with international law, which generally grants sitting heads of state immunity from foreign prosecution under the principle of ration personae. The U.S. typically circumvents this by either not recognizing the leader as legitimate or by asserting jurisdiction under domestic legal frameworks. Juan Orlando Hernandez, the former president of Honduras, is also extradited to the United States in 2022 and convicted on drug trafficking charges, though his transfer was done through formal extradition rather than military capture. He was later pardoned by President Trump in 2025. So yeah, wait, 22, that would have been air quotes under Biden, right? And so I did send that stuff to my buddy there. Otherwise, besides his politics, he's a good dude. But I said to him, what did you have a problem about Muammar Gaddafi? Did you have a problem when they took out Noriega? Just no, he was labeled a criminal. I'm like, not till now, till we see he didn't do. He just didn't want the U.S. dollar, same as Gaddafi. It makes sense now. I said, okay, you had no problem with Muammar Gaddafi as well? He says, ditto. I said, you realize he was like running the country, and the same situation happened as what was just described there, which they said he was an illegitimate leader and he was overthrown, and then they took him out. We came, we saw, he died. You remember that one, guys? Absolutely. So yeah, they just have an answer for everything. I said Gaddafi was a leader who's actually doing great things, but even though he looked like a nut job. He goes, so why did America take him out? I'm like, I don't know, ask Hillary. Remember, we came, we saw, he died. That was what Hillary said, and then laughed about it. So you need to ask her, not me.
Because he wanted to set up a currency backed by African gold, and it would have rivaled the American dollar. Because Africa's got gold coming out of its ears, That's why I went.
Let's see too, because there's actually even more to that too. Let's see, pop this one off here. Just got to wrap up.
While you're looking, the corporation that owns PBS and NPR, they I guess what do you call it? They dematerialized. What's the word? They
dissolved.
Called it quits. Yeah, dissolved.
Oh, really?
There we go. Yeah.
Because most of their money was coming from
us.
aid money. So remember when I said about the interesting about the late night people, the late night shows, and how all of a sudden they all started against Trump? They were being paid. It sounds to me like they're being paid. Yes. If it's not
100%.
the presenters, it's the programs. That's how they're funded. Because remember, once Doge kind of came in, there was one show that just went, and then another one they were saying, "Oh wow, we're $40 million short per year." It's like, what? How are you $40 million short per year doing a show? Like all of a sudden, when they blew up, well, not literally, but USAID. So it just sounds like everything's been used. Well, not everything, but aid money has been used as a tool for the deep state. And by the way, Noriega works a lot with the CIA. Didn't say that in that article, did it?
Reminding you the CIA has been well entrenched in Venezuela as well.
Oh, big
so,
time.
Yeah, I noticed that Ratcliffe and then President Trump actually announced that the CIA was active in Venezuela. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, they were great help. They infiltrated Max. Sorry.
Yeah, they one of his security was infiltrated. CIA informant.
Yeah, and have you guys heard the allegations? I don't know if there's anything proven, but they were saying that maybe the U.S. military got some help from the people or some military person perhaps in Venezuela to kind of, not fight back or something like that, or put their guard down. I've heard that kind of going around, but I can't confirm any of that stuff. But just really, really quickly on the way out of this story here, that nut job Gaddafi right here, he did look like a psychopath. So I could see why people were like, hey, crazy guy. You look at him, you're like, oh my God. He had no external debt and held significant national reserves. State-owned banks, not Rothschilds. Zero interest loans to the citizen. Oh, you need $100? All right, here, give me $100 back later. Portion of oil sales were directly credited to each citizen's bank account. Unemployed graduates received the average salary of the profession until they found work. State subsidized 50% of the price of a car for citizens. New mothers received financial support upon the birth of their child. Essential goods like bread and fuel were heavily subsidized, making prices very low. He did infrastructure things with the Great Man-Made River Project, the world's largest irrigation system, provided fresh water to the desert regions, Pan-Africanism, and global policy. I mean, this guy was apparently doing great things, and he was just rolling around he would roll around his country in a pickup truck with a friggin', I don't know, sometimes with an AK in his hand or not, but he was just open air. Like, he was loved over there. And of course, we couldn't have that.
If people got married, they were given a house. It was, you know, a good life. That's why I say the Pan-African policy, people didn't like that. Because he wasn't going to use any other currency. He was going to create a currency backed by gold, African gold. So they wouldn't have needed the American dollar.
And when you see him, right, you're like, oh, wait, here we go. Wait, did I not pop up? Beginning of it? Here we go. I mean, when you see him, I'm turning the volume off. Oh my God, that guy looks like a friggin' horror show. You know? I was looking for...
Later in his life, he was an odd-looking guy. It looked like he had a fake mustache. Like, it just didn't look like real hair. He was wearing a wig. You know,
yeah, he looks like Mickey O'Rourke to me.
There was rumors. There are rumors he had doubles too. So I don't know.
Yeah, they all did. Absolutely, all of them. Muammar Gaddafi poses with a fan who hesitates to approach him. Look at that. That's badass, huh? Like, hey, president. I don't want to do that. Like, no, you're cool. Like, no, you're cool. Come here. All right, we got to wrap up this dog and pony show we call Hold the Line. But Mac, what else? What do you got? What?
The Monroe Doctrine. President Trump spoke about that in an interview. I have it at the bottom there. I found that. I think it was today. Yeah.
Awesome. I like it.
And that's been a centerpiece of a lot of stuff we've talked about. So this is great.
Dude, looks eerily like Hunter Biden from here, or Beau Biden rather. Let's see.
It's about peace on earth.
How is it peace on earth?
Peace on earth. We got to have peace. It's our hemisphere. The Monroe Doctrine was very important when it was done, and other presidents, a lot of them, they lost sight of it. I didn't. I didn't lose sight. But it really is. It's peace on earth. Thank you very much.
It's peace on earth. How nice would that be? What is the Monroe Doctrine?
What do you think? What do you think Russia would do if America or some other big country decided that they were going to get their resources directly from Siberia?
That who would get their resources?
America was going to get their resources from Siberia without talking to Russia, and then supply drugs to Russians.
Big problems
on their doorstep. Yeah.
They'd have a big
Did you think
with
it would be tolerated?
Definitely.
I don't think so.
Check the chat for the Monroe Doctrine.
Yeah, I was just actually going to read that. So perfect. Here we go. So in case anybody out there didn't know, the Monroe Doctrine is the United States foreign policy position that opposes European colonialism in the Western Hemisphere, and it holds that any intervention in the political affairs of the Americas by foreign powers is a potentially hostile act against the United States, and it was central to American grand strategy in the 20th century. Monroe first articulated it in December 2nd, 1823, during his seventh, blah, blah, blah. At the time, nearly all Spanish colonies in the Americas had either achieved or were close to independence. Monroe asserted that the New World and the Old World were to remain distinctly separate spheres of influence, and thus further efforts by European powers to control or influence sovereign states in the region would be viewed as a threat to U.S. security. but its essence is expressed in two key passages. The first is introductory statement, which asserts that the New World is no longer subject to colonization by the European countries. Second passage, which contains a fuller statement of the doctrine, is addressed to the, quote, allied powers of Europe. It clarifies that the U.S. remains neutral on existing European colonies in the Americas, but is opposed to interpositions that would create new colonies among the newly independent Spanish-American republics. Then we have Alberta and Saskatchewan. Use Saskatchewan over here. Statehood request pending. Greater American Empire. Greenland Protectorate. Trump Tower. He put Trump Tower in the thing. Pivotal U.S. policy, non-colonization, non-intervention, U.S. neutrality. It also declared that the United States would remain neutral in wars between European powers and their colonies, but would consider any European intervention in the Americas as a threat to its interest, and support for independence. Implicitly supported the independence movements in Latin America, which were at the time emerging from Spanish and Portuguese control, although this support was more rhetorical than practical at the outset. Yeah, no colonization and no intervention. So basically, stay away from us. And Lisa, I look at that like, hey, keep the UK out of our business. You know, maybe that's kind of what it's implying also, in addition to all the other stuff.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I said earlier about, Keir Starmer, when he was asked about what happened in Venezuela, he said, I don't know anything about it, and I need to talk to Trump. And I said, no, you don't. And you won't. You know, but it's nothing to do with them. Nothing to do with them. Nothing to do with them at all. They can't even. They should just keep their mouth shut, because as a country, as a region, we've done it all over the world. It was called the British Empire, and at one stage we were running America. So there you go. We just need to keep quiet.
We were.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's what I said. But I think it's interesting. But it does seem, there's a push to protect that region.
Absolutely.
Just like other people protect their regions. Russia. Run a sub down the English Channel, and the next thing we're going to be invaded by Russia. Oh my God! Get the military. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I think that is potentially the Trump administration's strategy to protect the Americas and not allow some other kind of world power to come in and control it.
Like we've been experiencing, I don't know, the past 10 years or more than that, probably.
Look what's been allowed and what has probably been given a bit of a leg up, as we say, a helping hand to happen.
That's so fun. And guys, this is going to be the last one we're going to cover here tonight, but this is, we'll call it a mic drop here. So basically, Marco Rubio says, Nicolas Maduro could have left Venezuela and been living in another country by now, but he, quote, wanted to play like a big boy. He wanted to play big boy. Rubio also says this was not kind of mission you could give Congress notice in advance. He said it was largely a law enforcement operation. And I think this guy is not really quoting him right. I think he said it would have given the mission issues, or it would have jeopardized the mission if they had told Congress. That's a little different than saying, it wasn't the kind of mission that we could give them notice for in advance. He made it sound like if I told them, it would have screwed up the whole mission. So that's implying leaks as far as I'm concerned. Mac, release anything on that one, and then we're going to get final thoughts out of here. But yeah, I think pretty much that's what he said.
It was great. I mean, they both were just telling it how it is. It's great. Don't mess around. I think Marco Rubio dropped a Notorious B.I.G. lyric in there too, and then the White House, I think, made a video about it. But now you know. If you know, now you know.
I had it earlier. Too. Yeah, if you don't know, now you know. You know.
Yeah, that was it. And do you want to show the misspell from the Trump post for the go?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Go. Yeah, I want to see that go order or whatever you.
I just put it.
What is talking about here? All right, here we go. President Trump from the 2nd says, if Iran shots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. January 2nd, 2:58 a.m. And then, so we're missing an O. So it should have been shoots. 1 O missing, right?
Yeah, and we always know that to put it in a bracket. And the only one that shows up is this post. And it spells out go in brackets.
That's the go order right there.
I thought of that. I didn't, obviously I didn't know specifically. I was like, something's going to happen here. And then, he struck on January 3rd. So I thought that was a very big coincidence.
That's great. Yeah, it very well could be it too. Go and go. And, I was going to pull it up earlier, but, I don't know if it applies or not here, but we know that they went in there to Venezuela and they essentially snapped their fingers and shut all the lights out and then went in and grabbed them and went out of there, right? So we also have the other old post that talks about, should the lights go out, just know that the Patriots are in control. Ooh, Mac, and that kind of, you get rid of this, that kind of also
goes back to your picture.
Right? And then the lights went out before this, right? Because I think this was after, right? If I'm not mistaken. This was yesterday, so we took him, 2 days ago? I don't even know what day it was, dude, to be honest.
January 3rd.
Oh, my gosh. And we got January 6th tomorrow, guys, so you got people talking about, we got statute of limitations coming up tomorrow, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll see. I think anything could be, in my opinion, upgraded to treasonous, right? Especially when you're talking about stealing an election and anything that was related to that. So I don't know that they would get a 5-year or 4-year statute of limitations on treason. That's just not happening. So, Miss Lisa, parting thoughts, farewell thoughts, final thoughts.
You got me now.
AKA, say goodbye.
Yeah. So, great show. Thanks very much for listening. Thank you to everybody who's involved. You're out there. Debbie, Wheezy, all the girls. And guys.
Guys.
Pastor. And the couple of Brits. There's the few Brits that listen in as well. I want to say hi to you. We need a few more with their eyes on what's happening in the world. That would be nice. And for me, this week is the first week in January. It's already gone. It's already gone. It's like you, Space Shot. Everything is going. It feels like it's whizzing along at 100 miles an hour. Before I know it, it's the end of the week, and it's Monday again. It feels like yesterday since we did last week's show. But anyway, still keeping an eye on what's going on. I'm still interested in what will occur with Russia and the Ukraine. Let's see what happens after this Maduro.
Right. Be like, how about just take your losses where they are, pal? You ain't getting your land back, and make a deal, or else the U.S. is walking away, and we're gonna let them basically bend you over. How about that? How about that, you little cokehead? That's what I would say.
I'll just we'll just go and do a few deals with Russia, the resources and things like that, and do good business, with Russia and China.
Heck yeah, I really do think that they've been working behind, because while they have made comments like, where is Russia, Putin threatening and this, that, and the other. So I don't know. We'll see how the things play out here. And I don't think we're done as far as like getting explosive news. I think there's just more coming on the heels of that, and I think it's going to get exponential, more and more and more as we go here. But Mr. Maxer, your parting words. And actually, let me just tell the folks one more time.
Hold the line.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
That was awesome. But great show as always. Thanks to everybody that tunes in. We always appreciate the support. Don't forget to hit the like button for us. And we didn't get to it. No big deal. Maybe we'll come back to it. But a lot of people are circling back to Iran-Contra. And I mean, looking back into that was Oliver North and him erasing a lot of documents. And that was, what I think was George H.W. Bush was vice president. And it had a lot to do with him. So,
and Epstein was involved as well.
Correct. We covered that on the show, yeah. And it just more stuff that we need to unravel. But great show as always. And I'll hand it back over to you guys. Happy New Year.
I'm over here typing a little message to the folks over on D Live. I'm like, sorry, I gave you guys all my diamonds. I don't got no more. So thank you to Debbie Roush, Durango, Nibru X, and Pete Answer, the top 3 contributors over there. And it looks like Patriot Chick got the 9.55 diamonds that were coming back to you. I've been just giving them away every week, so apparently that's why I have no more of them. So thank you for that over there, ladies and gentlemen. I think I said a show. Here we go. I certainly did. Over on the D Lives with Carrie Lake dropping a cookie, says, Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for that, Carrie Lake. Zeta Anon dropping a fleet. Boom, says, love to all 3 of you. Oh, I was about to read it like, I love 2 out of 3 of you. Like, well, which one? It says, love to all 3 of you. Okay, but thank you, Zeta Anon. Woke and Walk dropped the cookie, says, you will never have any true federal financial audits due to the October 4th, 2018 implementation of FASAB 56 accounting standards. FASAB stands for the Federal Accounting Standards Advisory Board, and it gives federal entities the ability to manipulate data and even omit spending altogether when reporting on the grounds of national security. Oh, so we're giving people that not even president the ability to, or corporations or parts of our government, the ability to use the same thing as President Trump, because he can do whatever he wants as long as he labels it national security.
It's to be okay.
Yeah, right. Like, I need a cheeseburger. I need all the cheeseburgers. National security. Nobody else gets cheeseburgers. No, I mean, but essentially they can say that with almost anything all the time. They do with hey, it's a national security matter. What do you want us to do? But thank you for that, Woke and Walked. And I think I released the scratch in. Let me just make sure again that I hit them release scratch offs. They are released and they were coming at you. Mac and Lisa, great show as usual. That was episode 190 of Hold the Line, y'all. And did you guys, I'm not going to play it at the end here, but did you guys see they did another song? What was it called? They did another song mashup, and it is called This Is How We Stole It. Did you guys see this? Remember that old song, This Is How We Do It? And so they did another song, a cover called This Is How They Stole It. So definitely take a look at that when you guys get a chance, and check that out. And I will be back with the boys for Tables of Titans on Thursday. Look for a couple uploads tomorrow and the next day, not lives, but just regular uploads, as I'm going to be doing a bunch of crap running around tomorrow and the next day. But as I always say at the end of every show, for Mac, Lisa, and myself, we do appreciate each and every last one of you wonderful world patriots out there for tuning in. It's only going to be one outro video as we are on YouTube today, unfortunately, but not going to be for too much longer. And with that said, guys, until that next video, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Peace.
Something special is happening in here. That's right, it's brackets and jackets, bringing it back, but brackets and jackets. Special Epstein Island edition. That's right, folks, Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right. You see this man, Jeffrey Epstein, is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right. They want the record sealed. And they're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh, boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in America. And I would bet you anything that Alex Jones is one of them. Prove me wrong. That's right, Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the building with songs about Epstein. It's Breakfast Jackets Epstein edition. Guys, I had some epiphanies today. I had some real big epiphanies about some guys. A big network of guys and spies and lies and liars. All right, think about this for a minute, okay? The guy in Portland, the scientist that just got busted for producing CP, that guy is 1 degree of separation away from Epstein. Epstein, the investor that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. I know a guy who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida as well. Investor as well. Also involved as well. And all is not well with these guys. The Florida boys, the Glow boys, the Scott Israels of the world. You see, Epstein is Hillary Clinton. And Epstein is Haiti. And Epstein is a big network of media assets. By the way, did you know that Steve Bannon was going to that guy for money? Also, Epstein is Epstein Oprah. Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him. Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know? Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Bryan Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep, all of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down. Dersh was there too. That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. Dropping red pills in the best kind of way. This is brackets and jackets for the denizens of islands.